It's funny also to think like the idea of an office that was like no personal effects on the.
It's crazy.
I'm like, whereas corporate culture now is like, we're just a big family here. We'd rather you keep, a pen holder that looks like a British telephone box than pay you more.
Yeah.
So do what the fuck you want. This isn't
Pizzas
Mad
on
Men.
Fridays. Sleep in the office. You don't ever have to go home. You can just keep working.
And in. Ooh, a belt right at the beginning. What's wrong with me?
You can't give Rob an easy day. You just can't. Gotta keep him on his toes. Thank you, Rob. We appreciate all you
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
Hey, stop all that. Welcome to You're in a Trouser an Idiot, the podcast wherein we look back on media from when we were children. Any good to begin with. Just power through it.
Yeah.
Rob can fix all that. Take my laughter, I'm laughing while talking, and just make it so I'm just straight talking.
Just type it into AI. It's fine.
Claude. I had no joke. It's just naming the AI. That was it.
I'm DJ. I think I don't know that you said your name.
Damn it. I'm
If anybody
Damon.
needs to know.
We're gonna be doing a movie.
Okay. 2 words.
It is an 80s movie.
Okay.
But
I was alive in most
visually
of the 80s. Okay.
like a 70s movie. It's so early 80s that it'll look to your eyes, your
E.T.
80s baby eyes. No.
Okay.
Earlier than E.T.
Earlier than E.T., so I wasn't born yet.
When
Possibly.
were you born?
82.
No, actually, neither of us were born when this movie came out.
Oh, boy. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
It's got a trio.
It's alien-based, obviously, from my 2 guesses so far.
It's got a trio sharing the lead. It's an ensemble piece.
Ensemble.
And it talks about issues that are still problems today for 51% of the population.
Was this 9 to 5?
It is 9 to
9
5.
to 5. Is this because of Dolly Parton's recent decision to build a giant resort hotel in our city or build rest stops throughout the state? I just read it. I was like, we need to do that.
She's going to socialize this state by hook or by crook.
I mean, I, for one, welcome our blonde overlords.
I didn't hear about that. That's one. I think I may have heard about the hotel, but I did not know about the rest stops.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's like,
I don't know.
I was driving the other day and I just had to piss and there wasn't no rest stop. So I was just going to build a network of them all over the goddamn state.
The one thing the state of Tennessee is desperately missing is rest stops. I don't know. I guess I don't know.
I do feel like we're rife with
capita.
them, but never when I really want them. Maybe that's what
true.
Dolly's hitting in on. She's like, the human bladder can hold this amount of urine, and I need to make sure there is a rest stop for every single stuffed bladder out there.
Where
you can get a kidney infection.
This was just in the crossword last week. Where do Damon pee? Where do Damon need to pee?
Rest stop.
Okay, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I have never seen this movie.
Oh, really?
I have never seen it. In fact, I think the only movie I've ever seen Dolly Parton in is Stealing Mags.
You didn't even see Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
No, I've never seen that.
What about Straight Talk?
Never seen that.
What about the one with Stallone where they're like in a taxi business?
That is called Demolition Man, and we watched it for the podcast, and Dolly Parton's not in it.
It's Wesley Snipes you're thinking of.
That's what it is. He is blonde in that movie.
Threw me off.
Lily Tomlin. Who's the other? Who's the...
Jane Fonda. Don't tell my father.
Okay.
Jane Fonda. And of course...
He ain't Fonda.
Everyone's favorite, the Dabs.
The Dabs.
The Dabster.
I feel like we've made many references to this movie in this podcast because it's just old enough and just kind of obscure isn't the right word, but it's just like deep enough that it makes us sound funny and smart when we reference it. Just like Dabney Coleman is just a great name to pull.
It seems like a name of a person who should not have lived in the same time I lived. You know what I mean? Like he was
shouldn't have overlapped.
He was a House of Representative, like a congressman, like from the 1800s.
John C. Calhoun and Dabney Coleman ran against each other.
It doesn't feel like he should share my timeline, but he does.
He was a Whig.
Yeah, this was I don't know if we ever owned this on tape or on Doivadoy, but I think it was a cable TV favorite, and me and my brother would park ourselves whenever it was on. My favorite part as a kid, which I have a suspicion will be the weakest part as an adult, but there is a fantasy sequence that happens that is a lot of fun and a lot of cartoonish fun. Don't say fun twice. And I think that was my favorite part as a kid. And I was always just hoping that I got to see that part if I caught it on cable TV. Yes, DJ, maybe on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh, your favorite time to watch some movies.
It's a very specific roster of movies.
I'll tell you, Song 95 is a bop.
True. I was just thinking when I was going to offer this up, put this on the altar of the podcast, I was like, I guess technically the song is certainly more famous than the movie, especially as time goes on and Dolly has become a sort of secular deity amongst, pink-hatted resistance libs.
That's the thing. I think Dolly is not a one-sided...
No, that's true. I think she's our last bipartisan favorite. And that's why she's like, I ain't saying nothing about nobody. I'm
not going to say anything. I mean, if you want, you can assume what I believe based on your beliefs and your... Just like I'm doing right now in my head.
And I will.
And I will, because otherwise... songs aren't that great, Dolly.
Take that! Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm excited that you haven't seen this movie.
They kidnap Dabney Coleman. Is that what happens? Because they're stumbling out of bed.
Eventually,
and
yes, that is what happens. They stumble into the kitchen, pour themselves a cup of ambition, and commit a felony.
Yeah,
he is a very demanding boss who also sexually harasses all the women who are under him.
Of course,
he sort of condescends to Lily Tomlin, who's sort of the senior employee there who thinks she should be moved up into management soon, and he treats her like a secretary. And Jane Fonda is sort of the new woman who just got hired and also is sort of realizes that he's a jackass. And eventually through some farcical elements, please note for PG ratings, there are some farcical elements.
Okay.
There is some narcotic smoking in this movie.
Whoa.
That they end up having had kidnapped Dabney Coleman.
Wow.
And restraining him. But it's a complete misunderstanding and it could have happened to anyone.
It could happen to anybody. I can only think now of the song 9 to 5, which I hear all the time. I play it fairly regularly at gigs. But did you ever see the Lonely Island Stumbling video? It's disappeared from most reputable corners of the internet because of getting licensed to the song 9 to 5. But it's basically just Andy Samberg saying, I stumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. I stumble over here. He's just stumbling the whole video. He's got like a cup of coffee and then it's one of the the best kind of Saturday Night Live or sketches like it, where it's just like, it's just funny enough, but it's very stupid. But you can't find it. I think probably because whatever rights they had for the original airing ran out. But you can find it if you search a little bit harder,
I think I did see that once. My sexual attraction to Andy Samberg probably being an element
knows
of
no bounds.
Watching it. Knows no bounds. But
I will subscribe to a VPN for that.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Andy Samberg is hot, especially when he wears glasses. Is that what we were talking about?
No, but watch 9 to 5 along with us. We'll be back after this.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Maybe it got big on my end.
It got big? Got big a fight. Okay,
Don't do that. When you touch it too much, that's what happens.
It's time for the commercial, so I'm going to play
no musical commercials.
A song that shall not be named. And you just
I don't think it works copyright-wise if you just don't name the song. I don't think that's the loophole
no one will know.
you're thinking it is.
And then you do Dolly Partonisms about our Patreon page. You know, like, it's as knee-high to a grasshopper's.
I think I know.
Okay.
Well, howdy, y'all. You come on down to my unnamed theme park, and we got cotton candy. We got funnel cakes. We call them dolly cakes, and we've got all the non-alcoholic drinks you could ever want. I remember coming down from the Smoky Mountains when I was just a wee lass and I was knee-high to a June bug. But you know what I did also in the Smoky Mountains when I was a child, despite the fact that I am officially 80 years old? I went to patreon.com/yourinnerchildsandidiot and signed up to be a patron for a podcast that I didn't know existed, nor did I know what a podcast was.
I'm sure she does now, though, you know.
Hey, my parents know what a podcast is because of that one from This American Life.
Oh, yeah.
Not This American Life, but the other one. Anyway, patreon.com/yourinnerchildsandidiot. You'll be glad you did. That's
nails.
Oh, and then
Yep. Perfect.
Flawless.
How could anyone not go to patreon.com/yourinnerchildsandidiot and sign up? She's a national treasure. How fucking dare you? We watched 9 to 5. Do you want to recap the movie, Damon?
Do I? I would love to. First attempt, let's go. This is a story about 3 women: Violet Newstead, Dora Lee Rhodes, Judy Burnley. That's Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton. I almost said Fiona Apple, Jane Fonda, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Violet Newstead has been at Consolidated for ages. She's an old saw at this. And she's sort of up for a promotion. Dora Lee Rhodes is the secretary to the boss. She's full of, fun country slang.
Then bigger and good old Mountain Dew.
And the rumor around the office is that she's having an affair with Franklin Hart. What? Then you have Judy Burnley, a divorcee who is restarting her life and getting a job for the first time. I think it's almost implied like in her life that this is her first job ever.
Yes.
This is Judy Burnley's first day. She's being shown around by Violet. They meet the boss, Franklin Hart, who is a sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot, as the movie will tell us over and over and over again. And he is played by Dabney Coleman. Don't dab.
You have to. It's part of the ritual.
That's true. I believe at midnight movies of midnight showings of 9 to 5, everyone dabs when Dabney Coleman first appears on stage. On stage,
just like throwing the spoon during the room.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Throwing rice at Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick. He is a pig. He comments on Judy's looks and says she's much prettier than the recent hires they've had. He calls the recent hires crones. And while it is sexist, crones is one of my favorite old-timey words to just throw around.
Don't say that about anyone, but also it's a great insult.
It was a running gag on Kimmy Schmidt. They kept calling Carol Kane's character a crone, and I loved it.
It's very specific.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. He also talks about football. He's like, it's a shame you girls never get to play football because it really teaches you about teamwork. And then he talks about his coach, and then talks about his coach using a different metaphor that had nothing to do with football anyway, which I loved as a touch, where he's just talking about something completely different. So it had nothing to do with football. You could just tell him the thing your coach said, you jackass. He also hunts. He has a buck's head on his wall. Mm-hmm. And what else does he do? He just constantly is calling them girls. He's just a prick.
He's also sexually harassing Dora Lee on the reg.
Absolutely. And spreading rumors that they are sleeping together, which is, we find out later, is not true. We also find out he's stealing Violet's work. Violet is doing work on efficiencies, and he poo-poos it, and then later we find out he's telling the boss about it and getting all the credit. He's a prick. Anyway, Violet's up for a big promotion. She's just like, I just got to toe the line. until that promotion gets named, and I'm going to be made in the shade, a phrase she does not say.
It would be very Tomlin-esque if she did.
She is not made in the shade, my friend, because he gives it to a man instead, saying that people feel more comfortable getting talking figures with a man.
They need a man in that role.
And that man has a family to raise, despite the fact that Violet is a widow and she has 4 kids that she's raising. But apparently it's more important when a man needs to raise his kids.
Mm-hmm. So she kind of loses it.
They all have sort of individual breakdowns that end up with them at Charlie's, the local bar, getting drunk. Dora Lee finds out that Franklin is spreading rumors about them, despite the fact that she's never had sex with Franklin, and sort of taken his pinching and poking and prodding and tussling on the floor with good humor. She's never slept with this man. She's happily married. Violet finds out she's not getting that promotion, and Judy finds out that Maria Delgado, another secretary in the pool, is being fired for doing the completely legal thing, which is discussing people's salaries in the bathroom. So they all get drunk, and they all become fast friends. They smoke a joint that Lily Tomlin's son slipped into her purse, and they all share elaborate fantasies about how they would get their revenge on Franklin Hart. Lo and behold, through a series of miscommunications and hijinks, farcical elements, madcap, one might even say, Franklin ends up at the hospital. Lily Tomlin believes she poisoned him. That's not the case. He just fell. But she steals a body, and then when she not realizing that it's not Franklin Hart's body, then they go to the work the next day. They see that Franklin Hart's fine, but he found out that they had done all these things and tried to cover up the fact that Lily Tomlin had poisoned his coffee accidentally. And so he's trying to hold it over them when they suddenly take him hostage and take him to his house, where they keep him there for 6 weeks. While he's gone, no one misses him. No one ever wants to talk to him, except for Raj, who they send on an immersive language trip. And
they hook him up into some bondage gear.
To M&M gear. They also start making changes because Dora Lee admits that she can sign Hart's name better than Hart can himself. And so they start initiating changes such as daycare for parents in the office. They start initiating flexible hours, so you couldn't make, you can work the 8 hours of your choosing.
Not just 9 to 5.
You can also work part-time, which is a great choice for other people who want to, be with their families at different parts of the day. It's great. They can put personal affects on their desks now, including, lo and behold, plants and fun pen holders. All these great changes. Anyway, Franklin gets loose from his bondage gear right at the minute they were going to prove that he's embezzling products from the company. And right when he's about to call the police on these women, the president of the company arrives, saying that when he sees 20% increase in efficiency over the course of 6 weeks, he wants to meet the man who's responsible for it. And Franklin has to realize that all the changes the women made were to the company's benefit. But of course, he takes all the credit for it, gets a huge promotion to Brazil, where he is never seen or heard from again. And Violet gets her big promotion in the end.
Yeah. Dora Lee becomes a country western singer.
And Judy marries the Xerox guy, which is a callback to a joke I didn't talk about in my recap.
Because it wasn't really a joke. She just couldn't use the Xerox machine.
True. And that's 9 to 5.
That was 9 to 5.
They stumbled into bed, and they stumbled in the kitchen. They stumbled into a cup of ambition.
They stumbled into the coffee maker. That's pretty much it.
Thanks. Well, what's your verdict?
No. Not yet. You got to earn it. You got to listen to me talk for a while. Shall we begin with the characters? I feel like it's kind of it's not quite vignettes, but there are it's a little bit disconnected. I feel like the first half and the second half of the movie are very because we show them sort of setting the groundwork, and then it just becomes a very farcical experience where we're just kind of go around. So let's go through. Tell me about Lily Tomlin and as Violet. How do you feel about her?
Lily Tomlin is my favorite character in this, just because I love no nonsense Lily Tomlin.
Yeah.
I also love her as a fashion icon in this movie. She's always in a lot of bold colors. She also has this kimono-esque little like things she only wears at the office. You see her take it off as she leaves. And I felt that's like a really specific character trait that she has, that she puts this little, it's like Asian inspired thing, silk like sort of cardigan thing that she wears just when she's at her desk. And when she leaves for the day, she takes it off and she puts on, her coat to leave the office. That's neither here nor there. I'm barely describing her. She's very no nonsense. She's a widow, as I said. She has 4 kids. She seems to have good relations. We only see one of those kids, who's like the eldest. She seems to have good relationships with them. We see her sort of installing a garage door opener. Lo and behold, that will become a plot point later. But she seems very like, you get the impression that she's sort of had to sort of scrape by and like figure out how to be both parents at once. And she seems no nonsense, but she also seems like a good hang as well. She seems to get along with everyone in the office. She also talks about how the fact that she has trained all the managers who have like leapfrogged over her, including Franklin Hart. And that's why she's gunning for this promotion so much. She keeps getting overlooked because she's a woman. We also see her when Dora Lee's away, which is often because she's constantly doing personal chores for Franklin
errands.
Hart. Violet becomes like the de facto Dora Lee, and she has to get Franklin his coffee, which drives her fucking insane. And Lily Tomlin does a great like sort of withering look every time she like throws down her pens and she says, "Sure thing," and goes off to make the coffee. I loved her in this. What do you think?
Yeah, she's definitely my favorite. She also has my favorite line, which is when Judy shows up, when Jane Fonda's character Judy shows up, and she's like, "We're gonna need a special locker for that hat," just because it's a big hat. I don't know why that makes me laugh, but I feel like I'm gonna be able to work that into conversation.
Well, you love a hat line, as we remember from League of Their Own.
Has anyone seen my new piss on your hat?
And then Lily Tomlin in that movie would have walked in and said, "We need a locker for that hat."
Yeah.
Which is great because they have, a locker room.
That's true.
For the girls.
And it makes it easier to piss on it.
True.
It's in the locker.
Because it's in a separate locker, so you're not pissing on her uniform.
Yep.
It's specific to the hat.
Keep it separate.
Keep it safe.
Keep it safe. Yeah, I liked her interactions with her son. Like you said, we didn't get a lot of that, but yeah, it shows like some character development, and also shows that she's a cool mom. She's not a regular mom. She's a cool mom.
Yeah.
And she takes a little weed from hers.
She doesn't mind if you smoke pot as long as you do it in her house and you don't drive anywhere.
I'd just rather you do it here. Which is sort of what starts their friendship, these three, because they need something to relax. Then they go smoke the doob. They smoke some drugs together.
It's very charming, and I mean, I feel like a 1980s movie, and maybe this is because it's right before Reaganism kicks in. It's pretty much a 70s movie. It feels like something you did not see so cavalierly thrown around in an 80s movie.
We weren't just saying no yet. We hadn't learned that. We were like,
why don't we just do it?
Maybe.
But you do still see the judgment when later on, when Jane Fonda has a brief reunion with her ex-husband, she says, "And as a matter of fact, I smoke pot now." And he's like, "Well, I see what that kind of lifestyle has done to you."
Yeah. You want to talk about Judy? Jane Fonda's character. She's more the pie-eyed, I guess the innocent when she comes to work. She doesn't.
It's so funny. Now knowing, when I first saw this, I didn't know Jane Fonda from Hole in the Wall, but it seems like stunt casting almost in knowing what I know about Jane Fonda now, to have her playing this sort of wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, just trying to succeed, but kind of out of her element a little bit.
Yeah.
Not all that confident, Judy Burnley. It's a great bit of casting, and she does a great job at it. She does seem sort of out of her depth later, and it's such a great piece of growth when we see her later, after we see her struggling with the phones and struggling with the word processor and all this stuff. Later when she's just like switching lines on her phone with ease, in much the same way, because there's a parallel scene not only with her struggling with it, but we see Violet on her first day just really flipping through lines and getting information, getting stuff to people really easily from her desk, and so it mirrors that as well. But Jane Fonda is great at this. You do feel, Jane Fonda is a beautiful woman, and you feel so bad for her that for that scene, that initial scene when she comes home from her first day, And we find out that her boss her husband left her for his secretary.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives her a little bit of an understandable story of why she sort of feels resentful towards when the rumor is that Doralee is sleeping with Franklin Hart. You buy into it a lot more, and you can see that it's sort of emerging all these feelings that are associated with her divorce. We also see her with her ex-husband, and he arrives, and she's sort of has like a hopeful smile on her face, and then he's just there to serve her finalized divorce papers, and she sort of sees the woman he left her for in the car at the bottom of the stairs. It's heartbreaking. And then later when he comes back, we see what progress she's made. She's like, even though she doesn't have a love interest in this movie, but you realize this self-assurance in this. And I think that's what I love about this movie is that there's no and then we fell in love with some guy who showed up. It's like, no, we all became self-possessed women who are in complete control of our situation, sort of.
Although, sort of. Because I feel
think
like
there's an asterisk there, and I think we both are circling around the same part of the movie that is
it's
frustrating.
Undercut by the fact that the reason that she's chasing her husband away is because she's
holding her boss hostage.
She's got the dabs held hostage in another room, and she's just trying to get him to go away. And the only reason he gets mad is because he walks in and sees the dabs, sees Mr. Hart like suspended from his
S&M sex games.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to the plot, let's talk about Doralee. You want to talk about Doralee?
Yeah. Doralee, played by Dolly Parton,
I've heard seen on some bumper stickers she might be running for president.
She's my president. Yeah.
Hashtag not my president.
When she had a little health scare earlier this year, everybody was like, "Don't you fucking dare!"
Don't you fucking dare!
She's a treasure. It's interesting to go back and see, ingenue Dolly after most recently she is now, elder stateswoman, and she is very even though she's this kind of spicy, buxom secretary, she's very innocent. She's very sweet to the other girls. I don't know if
she's all that innocent. There's one of my favorite lines from her is after they first kidnap Franklin Hart. She's like, I say we just get some Wranglers, get a bunch of Wranglers and go up there and beat the shit out of him. That's her solution to it.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like this is, among all the characters, we get kind of instead of well-rounded, it seems like they can't decide exactly what these characters are. They're kind of flipping between these different things. Because I feel like that scene where Dolly's just casually talking to her husband is very, they clearly have a sweet relationship, and that he's very supportive, and they're that seems great. But then she'll say other things that are kind of they can't decide whether she's smart or dumb, or if she's playing dumb, or if she's, you know what I mean? It's she's kind of back and forth in these different ways.
I disagree. I feel like she is playing dumb with Franklin. She's sort of going along with it because she knows she sort of needs this job. I mean, she says as much in that scene when she finally breaks. I think she's a very self-possessed woman who is sort of curtailed by the times and curtailed by the fact that Franklin Hart obviously wants to have an affair with her, and she can sort of only keep him at bay as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I love that very brief scene we get with her husband. I realized that Steel Magnolias and this movie, both with Dolly Parton, she is married in both, and she has husbands in those movies, but they're both so ancillary characters that there is a brief sweet moment in Steel Magnolias where she has a heart-to-heart with her husband, and I'm like, where's this guy been the whole time? He's in there so briefly, but especially in this, she's proud of me. I mean, I always think that it's Tom T. Hall, who is a B-tier country singer from the 70s. But that's what he reminds me of. He feels like Hoyt Axton.
Yes.
There.
He has big Hoyt Axton vibes. Yeah.
But I feel like they have a really sweet relationship, and you see, even though he's really only in one scene, you see him briefly asleep in bed, but he only gets lines in one scene. I feel like you sort of understand their relationship. They genuinely love each other.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there are layers to Doralee, and I think there's a front that she puts up with Franklin, but I think there's an undercurrent of she's from the country, and she keeps a gun. She'll change him from a rooster to a hen with one shot. I think she knows how to protect herself if necessary.
Well, I think there's kind of two things happening when this is not. I think Dorley is like the biggest example of this that this movie struggles with. One is, I'm going to put this in the middle of the episode so I don't get attacked for it. Dolly is by far the like weakest actor in this cast. Like she's got a very high school play energy to it. It's not atrocious, but it is very like, this is my line and I'm going to say it. And you're like, okay. It's charming, but it's also like, okay, it's not great. And so that's undercutting the sort of any nuance. And then also this movie has decided like, we're like getting rid of any sort of interesting nuance we might have had in the first half. And it was never like a subtle movie, but like we're just going to go full hijinks, Mad Capri shenanigans.
Yeah.
And I think that, it goes fully broad with these broads.
Whoa!
Oh.
No, I think I agree.
Yeah.
Let's round it out though. With Franklin and maybe Roz.
Yeah. Well, I mostly want to talk for the rest of the episode about Franklin's wife because she's my favorite character.
She is delightful. I recognize her from other movies. Let me hunt her down.
Yeah, she just loves Franklin. He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And she's very innocent. Like even Marion Mercer is the actress's name.
I'm trying to see what else I would recognize her from because she's very familiar to me.
Yeah.
I must know her from the Sandy Duncan show.
That's
I'm just kidding.
is.
But I don't
She's born in
recognize her
Akron,
from...
Ohio. How about
Hometown
that?
Girl. She died in 2011, I'm afraid.
Oh, she was in Suddenly Susan. That's probably where you know her from.
There is a chance that I know her from that most of all.
And one episode of Golden Girls. Now we're just reading her IMDb.
There is also a chance that is what I know her from.
I feel like of all the things, that might be that. But yeah, she's also, at one point, she comes home early from her trip while they have Franklin kidnapped and suspended from S&M bondage to a garage door opener in his home. And she comes home and we don't really see how this happens, but he just sends her away to a hotel. Again, she's been away for weeks?
Yeah.
And then he sends her away for another week in a hotel. And she's like, isn't it lovely?
You should really see the getup he has in our bedroom. He's trying out this new workout regimen.
But she also knows that Dorley is the one that sends her flowers while she's on vacation.
Right.
So like she seems pretty accepting of her husband being a little bit of she probably doesn't know the extent of it, but that he's a bit of a dickhead or whatever. And I don't know. I find her very charming.
She is very not batty, but she seems very purposefully clueless. We find out she's sort of the Martha Washington of the relationship in that she brings all the wealth into the Hart family. So there is probably a reason why he would never leave her either, is that she comes from a wealthy family, and Marion Mercer plays her with this effervescent, like no problem has ever affected me in my life type attitude. And she goes to Tahiti for 4 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
She goes on vacation because Franklin would not go on a vacation with her while using a racial slur for the boat. Well, Tyler also made a look. He's like, ooh. And I'm like, well, I don't think that Franklin Hart's supposed to be a good guy.
Yeah.
This is the bigot part of the sexist, lying, hypocritical bigot.
True.
She is a lot of fun, and I do find her charming. I guess he has to send her away, not to get it too much into the plot, but I guess he sends her away so that everything can continue apace with the trio.
He didn't expect her to call Dorley and give up the ghost, but basically he sends her away so that they can continue the farce. He's kind of freed himself, but is pretending to still be caught up so he can go basically cover his tracks on the extortion that they're trying to get him in. Wow, this is a kind of complicated plot. Do you want to talk about Franklin or you want to talk about the plot? I feel like we're circling the plot.
Well,
Franklin is, he's not complicated. He is a dickhead. He is doing anything he needs to do to get by. He is all the adjectives that they use for him. He is all of that. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that there's anything more to say. He's the villain and he plays it well. I think that Dabs does great.
Dabs
live.
He's looking great. He's such a good dick. He's in so many movies where he is a dick.
Yeah.
He's in this. Of course, famously, he's in Muppets Take Manhattan, where he plays a Broadway agent who's trying to take advantage of the titular Muppets who took Manhattan. He's in the Beverly Hillbillies, reunited with Lily Tomlin. As what is that guy's name? I feel like if you had asked me any day, for some reason, I would have his name filed away in my brain. The evil rich guy trying to steal the Beverly Hillbillies' money. He plays that guy in the movie version of the Beverly Hillbillies.
I did not remember that.
And he's just good at being a dick. Is he alive? No. Did he pass?
He died, I think, 2024. May 16th, 2024.
He was also in the short-lived Drexel's Class, which I only remember because I used to tape The Simpsons off the TV, and a lot of times the beginning of Drexel's Class would get recorded onto the tape.
Oops.
So...
Did not mean to watch that, everyone. Everyone knows that I didn't mean to watch
where he played like sort of a teacher who was a dick. He was like head of the class, but what if the teacher was an asshole? He's got a good, it's a very 80s boss energy, and I think it comes from this movie. Strength. Yeah. Hold on, this is going to bother me. Hold on. Okay. Beverly Hillbillies. Oh, Dolly Parton was also in the Beverly Hillbillies. Dabney Coleman played Milburn Drysdale, Mr. Drysdale. Sure. And Lily Tomlin plays his assistant in that movie, Mrs. Hathaway. The queer-coded Mrs. Hathaway. Oh. Miss Hathaway, sorry. Mrs. Hathaway. You said you also wanted to talk about Roz. Elizabeth Wilson, friend of the show from the Addams Family movie. Wait, who's she in that? Dr. Pinterschloss. Oh, yeah. She's Fester's faux mom in that movie. That's right. I really like her in this movie because she's almost like the business version of Marion Mercer's character, of Mrs. Hart, in that she is completely clueless and thinks that Mr. Hart like hung the moon. Yeah. And so she's just constantly like going to him and tattling on all the other coworkers. And even you can tell that Mr. Hart doesn't really particularly care for her outside of her use as a mole. He's like, did I stutter? Fire the bitch. Get her out of. And I love, because Roz has this like tattletale energy that unfortunately I was familiar with in myself, where she just, even after she's delivered the information, she has to just keep gilding the lily and like, and it's not like I didn't tell her that such things were frowned upon. It's like, we get it. Go fire her. Go. In the very beginning, she's like the HOA director of their like block of cubicles. She comes to Violet and is like, see, there's these things, there's this memo, and Violet's like, yes. I said in my memo, she loves a memo. She loves. Yeah. I'm also, as a person who's still in corporate life, patreon.com/was an idiot. Let me get out. Help him get out. But I am kind of like amazed watching a pre-computer office at work. So much paper. A secretarial pool. So much paper. Oh, so much paper. When that Xerox machine, they make 291 copies. I'm like, for who? Who's ever making these things? But everyone. Of course, like, you don't get an email with a PDF attachment. You get all the paper in the world. Used to make the world go round. Memos tacked on the board, and you had to go to you would check the memos on the board. Get out of here. I barely go to our meetings now. So the plot we start with kind of a commentary on the modern workplace and the plight of women therein. And it's biting, it's incisive, it seems, accurate in all the ways, and their sort of reaction to it is understandable. Dorley's kind of playing along as much as she can, even though she's like happily married and not gonna like sleep with this guy. She's getting harassed, but she still wants to keep her job because she needs a job. Right. Violet is on her own for the first time, Judy is on her own for the first time and has to get a job, and it's like, I need this job, so I'm going to put up with this asshole and these people who are mean to me, even though I just started working here. Violet is like, as you mentioned, constantly passed up for a promotion she deserves by lesser people, and it's very like interesting and incisive because I don't think it does it. It's not, like I said, it's not subtle, but I also don't think it's like, it doesn't feel like an after school. Yeah, it doesn't feel like an after school special or something where they're like, women have it hard. Like, it's just like these interesting characters and like what they're going through in their asshole boss. And then when they
it kind of makes sense when they're like, they don't make a decision. They like have fantasies about killing him or messing him up. And it's very silly because they're like having hallucinations essentially. And they like all are different based on their personalities and like their little stories. Now, when those things kind of come true the next day, because that's when it like really starts to it gets silly intentionally, and it starts to lose me a little bit. Like the idea that Violet would not be able to tell the difference between rat poison and the sweet and low or whatever.
I mean, they do use the same font, and they have like a silhouette of a rat. One has a silhouette of a ballerina on them. The only difference is the skull and crossbones, as she points out.
Yeah. But then, like, the way that they deal with that, like the swapping of the bodies and stuff, it gets really complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I had this same realization. I think I said in the intro that I was worried about the fantasies sort of bringing down the level of or bring the story to a halt. And I didn't really have a problem with them because they're all so fun that I didn't mind them.
They were so goofy, like the lassoing, Dolly
and seeing them all hang out, and
well.
all these women that, you know, they at least, as Doralee puts it, they treated her like a bastard at a family reunion, and then they all come together. I love that.
Yeah.
But the hospital scene is kind of like, you can feel the flop sweat of the writer.
Yeah.
That was the feeling I got, was like the writer's like, hey guys, can you just bear with me? I just need to get to point B.
Yeah.
And to get there, I need to do some zany antics. I mean, the premise is like, she poisons Franklin's coffee, and then he has a malfunctioning office chair that dumps him on the floor and bumps his head and gives him a concussion or knocks him out. He's taken to the hospital for that, but then she realizes at the end of the day, after she had been running errands all afternoon, Judy's like, oh, did you hear that Franklin had to be taken to the hospital? And she's like, oh my gosh. And then she goes into the break room, sees the mistake with the rat poison, and suspects she has poisoned him, goes to the hospital with the other two, and there is such a convoluted series of events that happens where Dabney Coleman comes to, dismisses the doctor's advice, and leaves on his own accord.
Yeah.
And then a new body comes in of a mafia informant that may have just been poisoned. The cops are there because they want to talk to him because he's their only witness. So they're waiting outside the hospital room. And then a bunch of Italian-coded people start pouring in, crying, and like effusively mourning.
Yeah.
The cop is loudly screaming, looks like he's been poisoned. And and it's just so, and then Violet panics, steals the body, puts it in the trunk. The other two women go with her, realizing that she's lost it. They get pulled over by the cops. That's when they realize that...
no, they wreck the car, and then as they're trying to get the tire iron out to like help the dent... This is all like...
The wheel well is pressing against the tires, so they need to undo it. And that's when they realize it is not Franklin Hart's body. They return it back to the hospital. During that time, they get pulled over by the cops. And they just dump the body off. It's so convoluted and so madcap. And here's my other problem with it. I don't mind... I like the last act's zaniness of like holding him hostage with a few caveats. But... farces usually go like this. Like they keep getting zanier as miscommunications happen and confused identities and all that stuff that happens in farces. But this like sort of has a slope effect in that it hits its zaniness peak during this hospital scene, and the last act, while also zany, is never as madcap and crazy.
No.
I think I've said madcap more in this episode than I have my entire life. But as zany as it is...
the Zane factor is...
the Billy Zaneometer is off the charts. And so it almost like... it hits this fever pitch at the wrong time in the movie. And then the latter part of the movie is just them waiting for invoices, essentially.
Yeah.
While Dabney Coleman is tied up upstairs, which is... I just felt like the writer was like, oh, I just need to get to this thing.
Yeah.
I've got this part already written. I got this part already written. I need to find how to get these two together. I do appreciate that their fantasies do play out into
in real life. Yeah.
what happens. She does accidentally poison his coffee, and then Dorley does hog tie Franklin Hart, and Judy Burnley does fire a gun and actually break the same window that she did in her fantasy. So they do sort of play into it. I do like that paralleling of
It's funny
the
that Judy is
fantasies.
the only one that actually commits attempted murder.
Yeah, and you can also tell, I mean, I feel like the writer is like, I need them to get into this situation, but I also need them to do it in such a way that they don't commit any unforgivable offenses. It all has to be misunderstandings and panic. There's also a twinge of like, it feels like a little bit of sexism because all these women are panicking and being hysterical, for lack of a better word, and not thinking through a situation. So it also feels like, and this is a minor thing, but it's just like, it feels like it's also kind of making fun of women not being able to keep their heads in a stressful situation.
Yeah, and his reaction, because they're just like, no, because he finds out, hey, they actually did poison me. I'm going to like ruin them. Right. And I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to do it. Or
I'm sorry. Am I boring you? I'm sorry. I was holding out my last card before I send you 3 bitches to jail. That is actually my favorite Dabney Coleman line because it's just such a smarmy thing to say.
He's such an ass. Like you never side with him, but his response is completely understand. Like he's like,
absolutely.
There's
absolutely.
no.
They held him hostage in his own home.
But even before that, when they're like just sort of like hog tying, because like he uses the fact that he has this leverage now. When Roz overhears them, he's like, oh, they actually poisoned me. I'm going to use this. He uses that to try to like sleep with Dora Lee. That's his first move.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to call the cops unless you come over tonight or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's not all of a sudden the hero, but then when she hog ties him, all this, and then Judy comes in and is like, no, you don't understand. And then
fires a gun towards
let me
his
just
head.
explain. Like, he's like, fuck you. No. And I'm kind of like, yeah, he's not a good guy. He's no longer, he's like, he doesn't flip, but all of a sudden you're like, yeah, no, he's not all of a sudden going to be like, okay, well, you explain.
It does, the offenses against Franklin Hart, as much of a dick as he is, do seem like overkill to what has actually been committed. I will say this, also in the third act, which I do like this element of him being held hostage to them trying to get something on him. What does bother me about it is like, it's sort of like getting Al Capone on tax evasion. Like they're not getting him on the crimes that the audience have witnessed him committing throughout, like sexually harassing Dora Lee, ad nauseum, being the greatest among them. But like what they're trying to do is prove that he's like embezzling money from the company, and they have to get these invoices for a warehouse that's empty that's supposed to be filled, and they're trying to. There's a computer switch over that causes the invoices to be delayed.
Which is wild.
I do like
the invoices taking like 2 calendar months is crazy.
Do you remember did you ever order anything from a catalog in the 90s?
Oh yeah.
I remember filling out that thing because mom said I could spend my money on this, and filling it out and sending it to Bits and Pieces, the puzzle catalog. And
I was cool.
Waiting
audience.
6 to 8 weeks for that puzzle to arrive. That's ludicrous now.
Isn't it crazy?
I just ordered my fiber pills. They should be here on Saturday.
Yeah, like it comes tomorrow, and I'm like, I wonder what's in this box. I literally ordered it yesterday.
Meanwhile, I'm like checking the mail every day for my 3D puzzle.
You're so cool.
I know.
Yeah, and then I think the way they get out of the puzzle is also very interesting, which is the big boss, Mr.
Oh, I never got out of my puzzle. Once it arrived, I was immediately putting it together. Oh, you mean the movie?
The movie. What's his name? Mr. Tinsworthy?
I think so.
Templeston?
No. That's the rat from Charlotte's Web. You're probably thinking of the rat from Charlotte's Web.
It comes out of nowhere. He's Russell Tinsworthy. There it is. He just like Colonel Sanders just like shows up and is like, I like the cut of your jib, Slick. I'm sending you to Brazil. It was a very Deus Ex Machina situation where they're like, it's the comeuppance of them realizing that all their reforms are actually worthwhile, not just to make the lives of the employees better, but also it actually does improve productivity, which is what she was saying.
And realistically, the only thing he objects to is women being paid equal to men.
Yes.
Which Lily Tomlin points out, all except the fucking money. She doesn't say fucking.
Yeah. But then
I did.
He kind of like, this is the promotion that Violet would have gotten, if she had gotten credit for all of her things. So maybe careful what you wish for, women.
No, she would have gotten, this is even, I think, even a higher.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, she would have become queen of those Amazons that ended up kidnapping Franklin anyway.
He was never heard from again. How do you feel about the epilogues?
The epilogues are, I always forget they're here, and they seem needless. It feels like also, I mean, Dolly Parton has been a part of my life as long as I've been around. So it seems weird to like keep calling attention to the fact that she's a country singer. Yeah. I mean, this is her first movie ever, I understand. And like part of like hiring her was that we might get a song as well, which they got an Academy and a Grammy winning song out of it.
Yeah.
But the epilogues I could have done without. They seem oddly, although I do like Franklin being kidnapped by Amazons and never being heard from or seen again.
I thought Judy's was bullshit. Like she like fell in love with the Xerox man because I was like, oh come on, give her something better than that.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't ever see the Xerox man. He's not like a character. But
yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of throwaway jokes. I kind of like the like quick epilogue at the end of a comedy, but it's not like a hilarious joke or anything.
I mean, I feel like Russell, I like the Russelltons where the part, like he is a Deus Ex Machina, and that feels also akin to a farce where it's like, and then something comes along to just solve all the problems.
Right. I mean, we got to talk about this song. I mean, this movie, Lauren pointed out when we were watching because they play it so many times. And it's also used a little bit as a theme by the composer. Yeah.
Yep. That's how the song goes when they use it as a theme. Do you remember that in the movie we just watched?
Yeah. And Lauren is like, boy, they knew what they had. And I think part of it was, probably fulfilling their contractual obligation to Dolly Parton. But also, I think they were like, this song's a fucking bop, which it is. It is.
And, she came in when she performed it with her nails famously. Yeah. And she said, you can only do this with falsies. The nails help too. And everyone just laughed. I also want to, can I say another thing?
Please.
I was going to get away from the song, so I apologize. It's an absolute fabulous song.
It's a great song.
One of the great themes of
the song
movies.
way, way outweighs the movie, and I feel like that's in terms of legacy, like it is. I mean, it's not like Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda and Dolly Parton are all famous for other things as well. Like if this had been the only movie they were in, it would have been forgettable. It's like also they all went on to be massive celebrities in different ways.
They certainly did. Lily Tomlin, Miss Frizzle.
You had something you wanted to say that was not about the song.
Oh, I did. This is the second movie with a strong female lead that involves poison being in a ring that I loved as a kid. You won't know the other one. It's Thoroughly Modern Millie, 1967's Thoroughly Modern Millie, where Mrs. Mears, the woman who runs a slavery ring out of a woman's hotel, she has poison in her ring, and she opens it and puts it in the punch at one point to drug Mary Tyler Moore. And as a kid, this is probably the gayest thing about me. I was like,
I want one of those
rings.
I'll poison my enemies.
I do also like the smoke that comes out of the coffee when Lily Tomlin, in her fantasy,
and she does like a very Looney Tunes, like the spoon comes out and it's completely melted.
I love that gag. I love Lily Tomlin's fantasy, although I do question why would she need to poison him if she's just going to shoot him out the window through his ejecto chair that she uses.
I think that is my nominee. Actually, yeah, the whole sequence of them getting high together and having fantasies is my nominee for
that's a good point.
Sally Field Single Scene Award.
Do we both want to give Lily the Catherine O'Hara?
Yes, absolutely. Or the song 9 to 5. Can that be the MVP?
I don't know how to do that in an Instagram image, so I won't.
Just use 9 to 5 as the audio, and then we'll be fine.
Ding, 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 ding. Don't worry about that. Sally Field is going to be Pot Party.
Pot Party.
Check it in pot.
Would you like to go to the verdict?
I would. Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Rings with poison. I did mention that. Oh, can we discuss Margie real quick?
Oh yeah, Margie. She kind of disappears.
She does disappear,
really
but she's a great gift that I have saved on my phone. #millennial. Where each of the girls says, I'm going to Charlie's to get drunk. And Marge, who is visibly drunk all the time, goes, atta girl. And usually is throwing files in a trash can. At one point we see her drinking in the locker room that they have in the office. I'm still confused how offices worked.
Papers and lockers.
Papers and lockers and mess halls. But we see her drinking from a flask, and Judy is staring at her and she's like, it's medicinal, and she drinks it. And then later, when Franklin comes back and all the things have been done, we see Margie is no longer an alcoholic. And
he goes, the old lush?
Franklin's saying, the old lush? It feels like he's so ludicrous. He doesn't even know what she looks like when she's sober. And apparently he, in quotes, sent copious letters of encouragement to her while she was in a rehab facility, and she's living clean now. Charming beyond belief. Atta girl.
I do like her.
Got the Tintin going. Yeah, let's go to the verdict. That was my idea.
Okay, let's go. I also want to use another line I want to use from this movie is Lily Tomlin when she's on the phone. She's just kind of working and she's talking to her family and she's like, "No, I don't want to talk to the dog. Bye bye."
They all kids. There's more than one peanut butter and banana sandwich in the world. Okay, bye bye. No, I don't want to talk to the dog. Bye bye. I was reminded of calling my mom at work when I was a tween and being like,
"Can I go to Zach's house for dinner?"
When they would go to a store, you would just call them at the store because you knew if you
you called the store, the grocery store?
Not every time, but I have called if your parents are at a restaurant, you knew what restaurant they went to, and but before cell phones, you'd call, and they would be like, "Is there a Phillips in the house?" And you'd oh man, it was crazy times. All right.
I am remembering in movies now, you would often see the maitre d' come up and being like, "Pardon me, Mr. Phillips, but we are getting a call from Donald Jr. Do you know a Donald Jr.?
I'm gonna go.
Please.
This is 1/3 of a good movie.
Which third?
I like the first third. I like I liked maybe even the first half because I liked the up through the dream sequence when we start going to the hospital. And the third act doesn't do it for me either. It gets a little too madcap in a way that I found I'm down for silly, but it was very
I've always said that about you.
Yeah, I think I've made that clear.
My stance on silliness, I think, is well documented.
The way they really let the bits sizzle, where they'll just say a line and then they'll just stand there. And there's no music. I'm like, what is happening? There's nothing happening.
What's an example of this?
She'll say, she'll be like, "I'll change you from a rooster to a hen in one shot," and then they'll just kind of look at each other. I think that's just 1980 editing, and I just it makes it feel very like a high school play. The whole thing feels very out of it, and I feel like Lily Tomlin is doing her very best, and even the dabs, which he's the villain, but he's I
don't know. I've never dabbed before. I think I do it too
and I gotta
slow.
keep it in screen, so I gotta you gotta keep the arm short. While Dolly Parton is charming, when she has to say something that's more than just a Dollyism, it's okay.
Oh, see, I feel like she does a better job here than she does in. Well, I feel like she has a much more robust role in Steel Magnolias, but I think her deliveries here are less, I don't want to say grating, but they're less stiff than they are in Steel Magnolias. I think there's a story there. That's the one that always sticks out to me in Steel Magnolias.
And it goes a little something like this, and she starts singing a song. You're like, nope.
No, ma'am.
No, we didn't agree on this movie.
Pay for that. We're not paying for that.
We're not doing that. Yeah, I feel like movie, Your Inner Child is Not an Idiot. Or sorry, the song, Your Inner Child is Not an Idiot. The movie, Your Inner Child is an Idiot. This is a bad movie that I don't want to watch again. It's kind of fun. And I love Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, and Dolly Parton. And and dab.
You got a funny way of
with the
showing it.
dabs. But I don't like this movie, and neither should you, everyone. I don't care. I don't really care. What about you, Damon?
Your inner child is not an idiot, although I would probably agree with a lot of the general ideas you're saying here.
Yeah.
The hospital scene is the one that I'm like, could we just go take another pass at linking the two halves of this movie?
Is there any way we could just like cut that out and still and the movie still makes sense? Because I think maybe we could have done that with like a line of dialogue.
I like the last third. I like them keeping him hostage. I think a little bit more could happen in there that made it a little bit more engaging rather than just waiting for invoices. Yes. And I wish his crime that he got caught on wasn't, or the crime they were investigating wasn't embezzlement, which becomes a nothing burger anyway because he gets loose and fills the factory again. Although I'm like, if I've already sold the goods, what am I filling the factory with?
Where did you get the stuff to fill the factory with?
But yeah, that hospital scene just doesn't work for me. It brings everything to a farcical pitch too early, and then the movie can't keep that energy going or increase it. So it makes the last third feel, it meets the two surrounding thirds feel very disjointed from that middle part.
Yeah.
But overall, I like it. I like the twist that they are able to run the company very efficiently and,
yes,
and
I like
doing the things that he hated just for the sake of hating them were actually what was keeping everyone so slow. And it's funny also to think like the idea of an office that was like no personal effects on the.
It's crazy.
I'm like, whereas corporate culture now is like, we're just a big family here. We'd rather you keep, a pen holder that looks like a British telephone box than pay you more. Yeah. So do what the fuck you want. This is
Pizzas on Fridays. Sleep in the office. You don't ever have to go home. You can just keep working.
So I kind of agree with you in spirit, although I mean I didn't find it as grating as you did. So I guess I just support women better than you.
That's probably what it is. Yeah. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of the like to tell me more about their reforms, which is just how fucking nerdy I am. I'm like, tell me more about that. Like corporate culture. Because I found
flexible hours. Tell me more, ladies. Yeah.
And I just love Lily Tomlin so much, by the way. I just want to, she is a delight. I just want to say that.
Always. I was always excited when Lily Tomlin was in something. I don't think she ever reached the point. I think we talked about this with Carol Kane, where it felt like sometimes Carol Kane was in movies. I'm like, everyone knows that's Carol Kane, right? She's only in this movie for a scene, but that's Carol Kane, and we're not like calling attention to it. But I felt like with Lily Tomlin, I felt there was a period in her career as well where I was like, why is no one commenting on the fact that that's a fucking Lily Tomlin?
Lily Tomlin just shows up for several seasons of The West Wing, and you're kind of like, what the hell?
Or she's also at the last few seasons of Murphy Brown. Like we're just not gonna pay any attention to this comedy legend being here, and she fucking Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus, and we're just acting like that's normal.
That's normal. What do you think, everybody? Email us, yourinchildsandidiot@gmail.com. Text Damon, 615-576-0525.
Please do.
If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/yourinchildsandidiot. We want to thank our current patrons, including Lindsay, Halik.
Dr. Malcolm's Heaving Bosom.
Well, kiss my grits. It's Jonathan Day.
Wah! Okay, that's too much. Supreme rule of this podcast.
Is Zachary Hartley.
Holiday classic. Jingle all the way.
What do you know? It's Bill Hines.
Why, Tommy Boy is my favorite movie.
The big old Hands of Fate.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard. That's her doing Jean-Luc Picard.
Okay.
Just want to be clear on that.
Tippy Von Chatterley.
Josh Frigo.
Come on down to Pigeon Forge, Travis Vance.
Caroline Amberson, is that your coat of many colors?
When I said come on down to Pigeon Forge, I meant bring money. Lindsay, Nell.
$70 for a regular ticket. Karen Curd, $70 cash.
Dramatically placed hot dog.
Why, his honor the mayor. Our mayor was a horse.
T. Smith.
The Zesty. That's what my grandma called homosexuals.
Like a butterfly to a foreign cave. It's Stu Stewart J.
I'm sorry, Dolly. Like a butterfly to a foreign cave? The fuck does that even mean?
Just keep going. Don't ask me to explain my...
Hello there, Beth Surmont.
Particle Man?
Why, I just took a shit on a cartouche.
Jackson?
Why, my grandma Mammy used to call me Little Miss Chicken Nugget.
Oh, if it isn't Jeremy T. Powlen.
And that chicken nugget story, why, it had a cadence of a joke.
Wait a second, where is that elusive fan Gromkin?
And of course, Larissa Maestro.
Thank you all very much, and sorry. Patreon.com/Your Child's an Idiot.
It's like a third of the episode is us trying to be Dolly on things.
Tumble out of bed and tumble to the kitchen. Tumble out of the podcast. Tumble.